Center for Nepal Studies UK. We would like to welcome you all this morning at the 18th episode of the Nepal Dialogue series. Today, we will be deliberating on the theme What does it take to make a business work in the UK? Four distinguished panelists have already joined. We will introduce them while we call them to make their presentation. As the Nepali community in the UK continues to grow, so does its entrepreneurial ambition. In a community with a relatively limited history of independent enterprises, this webinar brings together business owners with first-hand experience of building and growing successful ventures in the UK. We hope that through their stories, challenges, and achievements, participants will gain practical insights, inspiration, and valuable lessons on what it takes to make a business thrive in a competitive environment. It would be a bilingual webinar, so panelists are free to speak either in Nepali or English. We'd like to request the participants to write their questions in the chat box as panelists are making presentation. Our distinguished panelists today include Mr. Biraj Bhatta, Mr. Bijaya Thapa, Mrs. Sobha Sharma Kandel, and Mr. Chhong Sherpa. First of all, I would like to call upon Mr. Biraj Bhatta to share his experiences. Mr. Bhatta is the chairman of Britain Nepal Chamber of Commerce, BNCC. He is a well-known Nepali businessman and director of Travel Console UK Limited. To begin with, Mr. Bhatta, what do you think are main challenges being faced by the diaspora businesses in the UK? Virajji?
Thank you, Bhagirath and thank you, CNS and Dr. Krishna Adhikari organizing this important event. Good morning to all panelists, participants joining via Zoom. And are we doing online streaming as well, Bhagirath? No, not at the moment. Anyway, that's fine. Okay, let me begin with your questions. What are the challenges facing diaspora business in the UK? As a long-standing member of the Nepal Chamber of Commerce and first-generation Nepali myself, I have seen a remarkable journey of Nepali entrepreneurs in the UK. Our first generation arrived with determination to learn and earn. They knew their ambitions, they worked hard. From those humble beginnings, they built their successful businesses, transformed lives, supported families, contributed significantly to the UK economy. They've created jobs, they paid taxes. For many years, I can see all of you aware of this, that restaurant and hospitality sector has been the backbone of Nepali entrepreneurs. Personally, I've seen a lot of them succeed. They again failed and they restarted and they made success again. Today, as the Nepali population continues, as we know, we see a lot of diversifications. They are in different sectors: education, technology, finance, healthcare, and many professional services. However, many of these businesses have achieved success. We must acknowledge that the reality of hardship they face now. The challenge of our community is not about to start the business. Challenge is now to scale them, sustain them, to ensure them that they can thrive for future generations. Many first-generation Nepali entrepreneurs build their business through their practical experience, through their hard work. They understand their customers, their trade, they know how to operate. Basically, they know their operational excellency, but what they lack is how to work on business itself. They have limited knowledge to business expansion, franchising, succession planning, strategic leadership, access to fund, risk management. I think that these are the areas they need guidance and help. As a result, many businesses remain heavily dependent on the founder who started the business. They have been built through instinct, determination, experience, but they don't have a formal business planning. And when there is challenges where there is an external forces and they feel vulnerable and they can't cope with the unexpected challenges, whether it is an economic downturn, rising operational costs, staff shortages, regulatory changes, And these are the area I think we need help with this, and I think they are not equipped to deal with the adversity. Too often business depend on individuals rather than systems. So standard operating procedures are not always documented. Staff training can be inconsistent. Critical knowledge frequently remains with the owners only. And when there is no structured processes and no trained management teams, sometimes growth can be risky. Therefore, overall, from my perspective, businesses today face challenges from both internal and external environment. Externally, we must navigate economic certainty, rising cost, regulatory changes, labor shortages, and rapid technological changes. Internally, we must strengthen our leadership, improve system processes, develop our people, manage cash flow, build business that can grow beyond the founder. Now, I think that's what we need to understand. I think most of the Nepali entrepreneurs, Nepali businesses need to improve on long-term vision, and they have to think strategically and plan ahead. That's where I find it as the member of Nepal Chamber of Commerce we are struggling with. Thank you.
Birajji, you spoke about the challenges and opportunities being faced by the Nepali diaspora business community in the UK. You have served in different positions, in different responsibilities at the Britain Nepal Chamber of Commerce. Now you are serving as its chair. So, how is BNCC supporting Nepali businesses in the UK?
Thank you, Bhagirath. To your questions, how BNCC is supporting Nepali business in the UK. This is precisely why the role of the Britain Nepal Chamber of Commerce is so important. BNCC is committed to promoting diaspora business and entrepreneurs. We do this through networking events, business forums, seminars, industry discussions, trade missions. We provide opportunity for entrepreneurs to connect with experienced professionals, investors, business advisors, and fellow business leaders. These networking opportunities are particularly valuable because many Nepali entrepreneurs have traditionally relied on their informal community networks. BNCC helps broaden this connection and opens doors to new partnerships, new markets, and new opportunities. To give you a few examples, we are having an event in Midland tomorrow. We have titled it Empowering Nepali Entrepreneurs Across the UK. And on 2nd July, we are hosting Business and Investment Dinner at the Embassy in London. On 3rd of July, we are collaborating with the Embassy of Nepal. We are organizing a full-day business and investment program focused on strengthening UK-Nepal commercial ties. Also, on the 10th of September, we are holding networking lunch session in House of Parliament, bringing together business leaders, policymakers, and members from our community. We are also supporting Nepal Tech Roadshow later this year, which will showcase Nepal's growing technological sector. Beyond these events, BNCC serves as a platform for learning, knowledge sharing. We help business owners gain exposure to best practices in business planning, innovation, finance, and business strategy, etc. Most importantly, BNCC is helping bridge the gap between the experience of the first generations and the professional expertise required for the next phase of growth. The first generation built businesses through determination and hard work. The next generation must build institutions through strategy, system, and leadership. Our vision should not simply be to have more Nepali-owned businesses. Our vision should be to create businesses that can scale nationally, expand internationally, develop franchise models, attract investment, create employment, and endure for generations. That requires strong planning, stronger systems, strong leadership, strong collaborations. We needed that exactly how BNCC supports diaspora businesses in the UK while also promoting Nepal as an attractive destination for investment, trade, innovation, and business partnership. Just to remind you that BNCC is a membership organizations. So if anyone wants to join and get benefit of these events, you must join the BNCC, and then you will obviously receive the emails and all the information you needed. And it's entirely up to you to participate or not to participate. I think I've covered pretty much how it helps Nepali businesses. Thank you, Bhagirath.
Thank you, Biraji, for sharing the activities of the BNCC. We'll come back to you later during the Q&A session. Biraji spoke about the first generation of Nepali entrepreneurs who are known for their hard work, determination, and paving way for the upcoming Nepali businesses. So we have got here today, Mr. Bijaya Thapa. He is the first generation of Nepali businesses, I would say. Mr. Thapa is the chair of Nepalese Caterers Association UK. He arrived in the UK in 1984 as a student. While continuing his studies, he gained valuable early experience working alongside his cousin in the Nepalese restaurant sector. He established his own restaurant in 1990. He later launched and expanded two more locations, but now operates only one restaurant, Munal Tandoori at Putney in London. He has been in the catering business for more than 3 decades. वेलकम मिस्टर विजय थापा विजय सर अब यो तपाईँले व्यवसाय सुरु गर्दाखेरि लन्डनमा रेस्टुरेन्ट व्यवसाय क्षेत्र कस्तो थियो अरू नेपाली व्यवसायहरू पनि हुनुहुन्थ्यो कि गएको 3 दशकभन्दा बढी समयमा के कस्तो परिवर्तन देख्नुभयो छोटकरीमा बताइदिनुहुन्छ कि अनम्युट गर्नु पर्ला
ओके नमस्ते धन्यवाद सबैजना उपस्थित हुनुभएको यस वेबिनारमा मलाई यस वेबिनारमा भाग लिन बोलाइदिनु भएकोमा धन्यवाद म दिन चाहन्छु र जहाँसम्म यहाँको क्वेसन छ जब मैले बिजनेस सुरु गरेँ त्यो बेलामा च्यालेन्जेसहरू धेरै थिए अहिले पनि छन् त्यो होइन कि अहिले छैन भनेर तर डिफ्रेन्ट टाइप अफ च्यालेन्जहरू थियो त्यो बेलामा चाहिँ नेपाली रेस्टुरेन्ट भन्ने भन्दा पनि हामीले यी गोराहरूले चाहिँ यो करी रेस्टुरेन्ट भनेर इन्डियनलाई मात्रै फोकस गरेको हुनाले हामीलाई चाहिँ आफ्नो नेपाली हो नेपालबाट आएको नेपाली रेस्टुरेन्ट हो भनेर च्यालेन्ज चाहिँ त्यहाँ धेरै नै थियो भए तापनि हाम्रो नेपाली पहिलाका नेपालीहरू मेरो दाइहरू उहाँहरूले सुरु गरिसक्नु भएको थियो मैले सुरु गर्दा चाहिँ लगभग 20वटा 25वटा रेस्टुरेन्ट भइसकेको थियो तर कस्तो थियो भने रेस्टुरेन्टको चाहिँ म अहिले पनि त्यही भन्छु रेस्टुरेन्ट खोल्नु सकिन्छ जहाँ पनि खोल्नु सकिन्छ तर खोल्दाखेरि मार्केट रिसर्च गरेर खोल्नुपर्छ र त्यसमा चाहिँ दक्ष कामदारहरू दक्ष क्वालिटीको खानाकै कुरा हो अनि सर्भिस सेकेन्डरी हुन्छ खाना पहिला हामीले चाहिँ क्वालिटीको कस्तो बनाउने भन्ने त्यो दक्ष कामदारहरू दक्ष स्टाफहरूको आवश्यकता पर्दछ त्यस्तो च्यालेन्जेसहरू हामीले फेस गरेका थियौँ र अहिले पनि खासै हामीले दक्ष चाहिँ नेपालबाट ल्याइराख्नु चाहिँ सजिलो भएको छैन अहिले पनि त्यही च्यालेन्जेस छ हाम्रो इन्डस्ट्रीमा र अहिले हामीलाई खुसी लाग्छ हामी एकदम खुसी छौँ अहिले 200-300 रेस्टुरेन्टहरू खोल्नु भएको छ त्यसमा कतिपय रेस्टुरेन्टहरू त चेन टाइपबाट पनि डेभलप गर्नुभएको छ हाम्रो पहिला विराजजीले भन्नुभएको जस्तै नेपालीहरूले पनि चेन बिजनेसमा हात हाल्नु भएको छ त्यसमा हामी खुसी छौँ र जहाँसम्म अहिले नयाँ आउनु भएको क्वालिटी यहीँ पढेर यहीँ हुर्किएर थर्ड जेनेरेसनमा जुन आइरहनु भएको छ उहाँहरूलाई चाहिँ हामीले कसरी इन्करेज गर्छौँ होला भने उहाँहरूले पनि त्यो नेपालको उस रुटलाई फलो गरेर नेपाली कुजिन नै हामीले चाहिँ प्रचार प्रसार गर्न सक्यो भने हाम्रो चाहिँ आफ्नो देशको र आफ्नो ब्रान्डको पनि आफ्नो समाजको पनि प्रगति हुन्छ जस्तो लाग्छ र अहिले नेपाली रेस्टुरेन्टहरू पनि धेरै नै बढिरहेछन्, सक्सेसफुल पनि भएको छ, त्यो खुसी लागेछ। धन्यवाद। छोटो नै
यो हजुर, यो रेस्टुरेन्ट व्यवसायकै कुरा गर्दाखेरि अहिले करिब 250 देखि 300 जति नेपाली रेस्टुरेन्टहरू युकेभरि भएको अनुमान गरिन्छ। अब यो रेस्टुरेन्ट व्यवसायका अहिलेका चुनौतीहरू के छन् र तपाईँले सुरु गर्ने बेला चाहिँ के चुनौती थियो, छोटकरी बताइदिनुहुन्छ कि?
मैले अघि नै भने हामीले सुरु गर्दाखेरि पनि धेरै चुनौतीहरू चाहिँ हामीले अलिकति नेपाली भन्दा पनि इन्डियनहरूलाई पनि मिक्स गरेर राख्नु पर्थ्यो। जस्तो अब मेरो रेस्टुरेन्टकै नाम सुन्नुहुन्छ अहिले, मुनाल तन्दुरी। मुनाल त नेपाली राखेँ, तर तन्दुरी राख्दाखेरि कस्टमर बढी आउँछ कि भन्ने हिसाबले त्यसरी राख्ने चलन थियो। तर अहिले चाहिँ हामीले चाहिँ नेपाली कतिपय नेपालीहरू रेस्टुरेन्ट खोलेको चाहिँ अहिले तन्दुरी राख्ने चलन छैन। जस्तो अहिले गोर्खाको नाममा छ, कति त्यस्तो चेन्जेस हामीले देखेका छौँ। र अहिले हामीले पनि अब नयाँ खोल्यो भने हामीले तन्दुरी नराखिकन नेपालीज रेस्टुरेन्ट मात्रै भनेर पनि राख्न सकिन्छ। र त्यस्तो च्यालेन्जेसहरू हामीले चाहिँ आफ्नो इन्ट्रोडक्सनको चाहिँ फेज थियो पहिला सुरुमा चाहिँ, तर अहिले चाहिँ त्यो छैन। हामी नेपाली रेस्टुरेन्ट भनेर नि कतिले इन्ट्रोडक्सन गर्नु पर्दैन। अब गोराहरूले थाहा पाइसकेको छ, कतिपय गोर्खाको कनेक्सन छ, कतिपय आर्मी के अरे नेपाल गएर आउनु भएको सबै भएको हुनाले हामीले त्यो च्यालेन्जेस छैन। तर अहिले चाहिँ हामीले च्यालेन्जेस चाहिँ मेन चाहिँ च्यालेन्जेस क्वालिटी स्टाफहरू नेपालबाट ल्याउनु अहिले गभर्मेन्टले टाइट गरेको छ, त्यो चाहिँ अलिकति हामीलाई चाहिँ कठिनाइ छ। थ्याङ्क यू।
हस्, धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद। हामी फेरि अहिले Q&A-मा हजुरसँग आउनेछौँ, जोडिरहनु होला। Now we would like to invite Mrs. Sobha Sharma Kandel. Mrs. Kandel is the founder, CEO, and superintendent pharmacist at the Neem Tree Pharmacy and co-founder and co-owner of the Ulwis Late Night Pharmacy. Sobha completed her Master of Pharmacy degree in 2004 before qualifying as a pharmacist in 2005. Her entrepreneurial journey began in 2009 when she entered the independent pharmacy sector. Through determination, strategic leadership, and a deep understanding of community healthcare needs, she expanded her pharmacy network to 4 branches by 2023. Mrs. Kandel, how competitive is the pharmacy business in the UK, and what's been your experience so far?
Namaste. Thank you for inviting me to this webinar. I'd say the pharmacy business in the UK is quite competitive. It's got increasing pressure, especially over the recent years due to the NHS funding and rising inflation, especially independent pharmacies who have like 1 to 5 chains. It's very difficult to compete with the rise of online pharmacies and chains like Boots and Lloyds as well. They have the market share. So there's around 11,000 pharmacies in the UK, where the numbers are decreasing, unfortunately, due to the challenges in the pharmacy sector currently. The large pharmacy chains and corporate groups, they have advantages in purchasing power in terms of medications, and they have really good systems and staffing infrastructure. So independent pharmacies like mine, we have to compete through service quality and the relationships we build with our patients, and make sure that we're efficient and we use innovation and diversify the kind of offering we have. The pharmacy role has evolved a lot over the past few years. So previously, pharmacists used to be more dispensers, so they had a more of a supply role. But now, due to the curriculum change, we're more clinicians. From this year, graduates will be prescribers. So on graduation, they'll be able to prescribe just like doctors. Because of that, we've been getting more responsibility from the government. So, for example, Pharmacy First has started, so we can treat 7 clinical conditions. Recently, the community pharmacy contract has been changed. They're adding more clinical services, and you have to be an independent prescriber. So the previous graduates, they have to catch up by doing the prescribing course. They're going to add more conditions. As I said, the pharmacy role has evolved beyond dispensing. So we do vaccinations, we do hypertension case finding service, we do minor ailments, travel health, and a range of other clinical services. In terms of diversifying, we have to also look at other income streams like private clinics. So in my pharmacy, especially during COVID, we realized that there was a gap and people were asking us for blood testing service. So we started phlebotomy and other tests as well, and further vaccinations. So due to the rising patient expectation, the NHS funding, and the competition from large chains, it is pretty competitive and challenging.
So, Mrs. Kandel, one obvious question is, why so few Nepali businesses coming into the pharmacy sector? What would be your advice for the upcoming Nepali entrepreneurs?
I'd say because it's such a specialized field, you need to be a pharmacist at the end of the day to understand the business and run it. I mean, it's not compulsory, but at least one pharmacist should be on the board. Pharmacy ownership is a really long pathway. It's quite difficult. You need to have an NHS license to be able to open a pharmacy. So normally you need to buy an existing one. So you're not allowed to open a completely new one. Pharmacy degree is quite long. It's kind of a 4-year degree, 1-year foundation training. You need to do a lot of postgraduate, qualifications, prescribing, several years of clinical experience. So once you build up on that, then you can think of opening a business. But because it is kind of risky at the moment because of the NHS funding structure, I think a lot of Nepalese, maybe it might be difficult for them because the terms of investment and the time you need to put in, and the highly regulated industry as well. Like you need to get, General Pharmaceutical Council approval, NHS approval. And when I opened the pharmacy, there was not many Nepali pharmacists at all. I think there was only 1 or 2 that I knew of who were my seniors. I know now the new generation, there's a lot more studying pharmacy. So I am hoping that there will be more in the sector in the future.
Thank you, Mrs. Kandel. We'll come back to you later during the Q&A segment of this webinar. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Chhong Sherpa. Mr. Sherpa arrived in the UK in 2009 as an international student. Chhong began his career in the UK food industry in 2010, taking on entry-level roles. He trained as a sushi chef, and in 2014, he founded Iro Sushi from a shared kitchen in Clapham Junction. Under Sherpa's leadership, Iro Sushi has undergone rapid expansion, growing from a single kitchen operation to over 30 locations across the UK by 2026. The company now serves approximately 1.1 million customers annually and generates over 20 million in revenue. Mr. Sherpa, how do you see your journey from an international student to a successful entrepreneur in the UK?
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone, and thanks for me giving opportunity to speak on this webinar to the CNS team, and good morning to everyone who is participating today. Like Indu introduced already, so I came from Nepal as a student, as everyone does, and then I started as a sushi chef. Work in a sushi restaurant. That was a bit difficult in the beginning to find the job, but eventually I found a job after 6 months. Then I started working as a chef. So I happened to be found in a sushi restaurant in Japanese. So I liked how the food was made. The product was clean, easy to make. And after a few years experience, so I thought I would do something of my own. So that is my experience. I have made smaller videos here. I will share with you guys just for give a quick introduction and what I do. If I can share the screen.
Sure, Naresh, you can help.
Okay.
Naresh,
I can share the screen. Okay. Can you see the screen now? Can you see the screen?
Yes, good.
Okay, quick one. So this is me when I was 10 years. I was carrying I'll go Nepalese, I think it's easier. So यो चाहिँ म 10-12 वर्ष हुँदाखेरि हाम्रो गाउँ हामी चाहिँ एकदमै रिमोट गाउँमा जन्मेको भएर चाहिँ नुन पानी सामान बोक्नलाई चाहिँ त्यहाँदेखि गाउँदेखि 10 घण्टाको बाटो हिँड्नु पर्थ्यो. सो यो फोटो मैले राख्नु कारण चाहिँ so this was the first picture I took. I remember we took it. So here I made a small video here. So I thought it's very inspirational for the people. Thank you very much. I hope you like it. So I started my business in Klapam, Battersea. Then I opened a second location in Tower Bridge and Fulham. Then I found it very difficult to run the business myself. So I tried to look for the other options. What can be the possibilities? So especially after Brexit happened, so finding right employee people to work together was very difficult. So I looked for the options to expand the business via franchise. So I didn't know what is a franchise or how it can be done. So I started looking at the YouTubes. I started to read the books, and then I found the way to do it. And in the beginning, it was very difficult in the franchise world. I think most of here participants a bit new to the franchise world. So franchise world, you have to do the agreement, you have to do all this legal. So it's very different. So COVID happened, then we expanded the business during the COVID. Most of the business closed down, so we expanded that in as a takeaway and deliveries. So after the COVID, we were expecting things to go back to normal and business to slow down, but we found there is enough demand to continue the business. So that's why we started franchising more, and especially within the Nepalese community. हामीसँग अब इनफ फन्डहरू चाहिँ हुँदैन, हामी प्राय सेफहरूसँग र जो पनि नेपालमा यहाँ आउनुभएको छ, त्यही भएर वी स्टार्टेड लुक एट दि ब्याङ्कसँग पार्टनरसिप गर्ने र इनिसियली सुरुमा म आफैले पनि इन्भेस्ट गरेर 50-50 पार्टनरसिपमा गरेर एक्सपान्ड गरेँ। र रिसेन्टली चाहिँ अब अलि स्केल बिग भयो, ठुलो भएपछि अब ब्याङ्कहरूले र इन्भेस्टरहरूले पनि इन्ट्रेस्ट देखाएर चाहिँ अहिले ब्याङ्कहरूसँग पार्टनरसिप गरेर सो वी लुकिङ टु वी एट द मोमेन्ट 34 लोकेसन, वी शुड बी ओपनिङ 10 more this year. So that's my journey.
Thank you very much, Chhongji. We'll come back to you later during the Q&A session. Now we are going to open the Q&A section of this webinar. So we have seen several questions in the chat box. Hope our panelists are also looking into them. So what we do is we read out the questions for the panelists, and then we would invite our distinguished panelists to respond to them. Maybe I need some help. So there is a question to Birajji, Mr. Biraj Bhatta. Is there any general scoping mapping of the size and diversity of Nepali businesses in the UK? Birajji.
Thank you, Bhagirath. We try to, gather the information. Obviously, it's a very diverse, and obviously you can't get through the data. So we really don't have a clear picture of this. We are trying to gather it. We can only do with our membership. Obviously it's still very young, and we haven't got enough data to say exactly, and we try to find out from the government and other things, but obviously the businesses are so diverse, so we don't know whether it's a Nepali or British, because a lot of people are registered as a British, and then there are Nepali. So at the moment we don't have a clear picture. We had this question from other people as well in the past. We're still work in progress at the moment.
Thank you. We have got few more questions as well. I can see a question from Yashodaji. And also from Bajraji. Mr. Bajraj is asking, we hear that some Nepalese entrepreneurs collaborate initially, but alienate from the business soon after. I'm not sure whom this question is directed. Maybe would I request Chhongji to respond to this? सुरुमा व्यवसाय सुरु गर्नुहुन्छ उहाँहरूले, तर व्यवसायमा सस्टेन गर्न सक्नुहुन्न र पछि अरू क्षेत्रमा जानुहुन्छ, त्यस्तो केही तपाईको अनुभव छ?
अब मेरो पर्सनल अनुभव चाहिँ छैन अहिलेसम्म, तर आई सी मेनी पिपल हेज डन इट गर्नुहुन्छ, किनभने मेनली चाहिँ अब हामीले बिजनेसलाई अलिकति आई थिङ्क हाम्रो कम्युनिटीमा चाहिँ एन्टरप्रेन्योरसिपको नलेज ब्याकग्राउन्ड नभएर पनि होला, अलिक कमी भएर, किनभने बिजनेस भनेको चाहिँ अब नट लाइक तपाईँले खाना पकाउन आउँछ भन्दैमा बिजनेस हुँदैन प्रायः चाहिँ मलाई राम्रो पिज्जा बनाउन आउँछ म पिज्जा पसल खोज्छु भनेर गर्नुहुन्छ तर लङ टर्म सस्टेन गर्न चाहिँ तपाईँको लङ टर्म नै भिजन चाहिन्छ अब टेम्पोरेरीले सोचेर अब गऱ्यो भने चाहिँ लङ टर्ममा चाहिँ बाँच्न सक्दैन किन अर्को कम्पिटिसन नजिक अर्को कम्पिटिसन आउँछ अथवा मार्केटको ट्रेन्ड चेन्ज हुन्छ तपाईँ आफै भित्र किचनमा एभ्रीडे काम गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ के हुन्छ भने तपाईँ कस्टमरलाई हेर्नुहुन्छ तपाईँ किचनमा के बिग्रिन्छ तपाईँको इलेक्ट्रिसिटी बिग्रिन्छ यो बिग्रिन्छ त यु डोन्ट ह्याभ टाइम टु थिङ्क आउटसाइड सो आई थिङ्क वान अफ द रिजन इज अहिले उहाँ हाम्रो विराज सरले भने जस्तै आई थिङ्क पिपल वर्क इनसाइड द बिजनेस देन रादर देन वर्किङ अन द बिजनेस सो द्याट इज रिजन प्रोबब्ली
Thank you, Chhongji. I can see a question for Mrs. Sobha Sharma Kandel from Usha Kiran Adhikari. She is asking, what would you say were the biggest challenges when you were starting your business? Sobhaji.
Thank you for the question. I think the biggest challenge was the lack of kind of role models. So there was no kind of pharmacy business owners who are Nepali at the time. So lack of mentorship, lack of role models. I'm not from a business family either. So I'm second generation. So my parents, they didn't own a business. So I had to learn everything from scratch. High upfront cost of buying and setting up a pharmacy, managing everything on your own, because previously I used to work in Boots. So it already had a head office structure, a lot of support. So moving from working with, all that structure to opening your own pharmacy and then setting it all up yourself, a lot of regulations due to the General Pharmaceutical Council requirements. So making standard operating procedures, learning about the complex NHS funding and reimbursement structure, understanding how it works, and building the patient base and the trust in the community. That takes time. And also I was pregnant with my third baby at the time. So that's like personal challenge and professional entrepreneurial journey. It started all at the same time. So it was difficult, but I learned a lot from the process.
Thank you, Sobhaji. We have got a question to Chhongji again from Kulji. He is using his first name only. उहाँले भन्नुभएको छ कि मैले साथीहरूसँग मिलेर kidscircuits.com भन्ने एउटा रोबोटिक्स कम्पनी सुरु गर्न गइरहेको छु 4 देखि 18 वर्षको बालबालिका किशोर किशोरीको लागि यसको लागि फन्डिङ कसरी सेक्योर गर्ने र फ्रान्चाइजी कसरी गर्न सकिन्छ भनेर उहाँले सोध्नु भएको छ छोङजी
फन्डिङ चाहिँ यस्तो छ फन्डिङ कसरी गर्छ भनेको चाहिँ अब फन्डिङ गर्ने तरिका एउटा छ अब नर्मली कि आफै सेल्फ फन्डिङ हुनु पर्यो कि त आइडिया स्ट्रङ छ भने आइडिया पिच गरेर ब्याङ्क गर्न अर्को अप्सन हुन्छ अर्को चाहिँ तपाईँ अर्ली फेजमा हुनुहुन्छ भने प्रोबेबली अब अरू सिमिलर फिल्डको एन्टरप्रेन्योरहरूसँग र फाइनेन्स पनि गर्ने प्लस मेन्टरसिप पनि गर्ने भने आई थिङ्क द्याट इज द बेस्ट वे टु टेक टु सम सर्टेन लेभल त्यसपछि चाहिँ यु गेट बिगर फाइनेन्स ब्याङ्कहरूदेखि ल इन्भेस्टर क्यापिटल भेन्चरहरूको पछिको हुन्छ त अर्ली फेजमा चाहिँ यसै मेन्टरसिप र इन्भेस्टमेन्ट सँगै पायो भने द्याट इज द बेस्ट वे टु टेक नेक्स्ट लेभल
धन्यवाद छङजी विजय थापाज्यूलाई पनि एउटा प्रश्न आएको छ यो खास गरेर ब्रेक्जिट पछि रेस्टुरेन्टहरूको उहाँले पनि अघि कुरा गर्नुभयो यो कामदारहरूको अभाव छ भनेर अहिले चाहिँ कस्ट अफ अपरेसन पनि धेरै नै बढेर गएको भनिन्छ नेपाली रेस्टुरेन्टहरू कसरी सर्भाइभ गरिराखेका छन् अहिले र धेरै जसो रेस्टुरेन्टहरू प्रफिटमा छन् कि अथवा चाहिँ जस्ट म्यानेज मात्रै गरिराखेका छन् कि छोटकरी बताइदिनुहुन्छ कि विजय थापाज्यू
भयो ओके धन्यवाद क्वेसनको लागि जसले गर्नुभयो पनि रेस्टुरेन्टको चाहिँ अहिले स्टाफको सर्टेजहरू अलवेज हामीसँग परि नै रह्यो र अहिले पनि त्यस्तै छ कतिपयले अस्ति हाम्रो यो पहिलाको कन्जर्भेटिभ गभर्मेन्टको पालामा हो के अरे उनीहरूले त्यो वेजेस थ्रेज होल्ड जुन कम गराएको थियो त्यो बेला ल्याउनु भएको हिसाबले पनि चलिराखेको छ बिजनेसहरू कतिपय त्यो बेलामा चाहिँ हामीले स्टाफहरू ल्यायौँ इन्क्लुडिङ मैले पनि ल्याएँ 2-3 जना र उनीहरूले अनेस्टली काम गरिरहनु भएको छ र अहिले ओभरअल हेर्दाखेरि नेपाली रेस्टुरेन्टको बिजनेस राम्रो छ बिजनेस प्रोफिटेबली गर्नुभएको छ धेरैले ब्रान्चेसहरू एक्सपान्ड गर्नुभएको छ त्यो गुड न्युज हो नेपालीहरूको पपुलारिटी बढिरहेको छ राम्रै छ बिजनेस सबैले पोजिटिभली नै हेर्नुपर्छ तर अलि एक दुईवटा अब त्यो त जहाँ पनि हुन्छ बिजनेसहरूमा होम अफिसले रेट हान्दाखेरि त्योमा अलिकति समस्या परेको स्वास्थ्यको केयर नगर्ने कतिपय रेस्टुरेन्टहरूलाई समस्या परेको लोकल अथोरिटीले बन्दै गरेको पनि रेकर्डमा छ त्यसैले हामीले बिजनेस चलाउँदाखेरि जस्ट फर फन मात्रै चलाउनु हुँदैन सबै कुरो विचार पुर्याएर इन्डस्ट्रीमा हात हाल्नुभन्दा पहिला जानकारी लिएर गर्नु राम्रो हुन्छ त्यसैको लागि हामी सङ्घ संस्थाहरू हामीले विराजी जस्तो हामी जस्तो बक्सेको काठ त्यो पनि हो त्यसैले एकजुट र हामीले चाहिँ अलि नेटवर्किङ गरेर बुझेर त्यसमा भाग लिनु भयो भने राम्रो हुन्छ जस्तो मलाई लाग्छ धन्यवाद
धन्यवाद विजय थापाज्यू अरू पनि प्रश्नहरू आइराखेका छन् च्याटमा हामी आउनेछौँ हामीसँग टाइम छ अहिले इट्स 10:40 10:40 म फेरि विराज भट्टजीसँग आउन चाहन्छु उहाँ चाहिँ बिएनसिसी ब्रिटेन नेपाल च्याम्बर अफ कमर्सको अध्यक्ष हुनुहुन्छ विराजी बिएनसिसीको एउटा उद्देश्य चाहिँ नेपालमा लगानी प्रवर्धन गर्ने पनि छ यस क्षेत्रमा नेपाल ब्रिटेन च्याम्बर अफ कमर्स पनि यहाँहरूको पार्टनर अर्गनाइजेसनको रूपमा काम गरिराखेको छ भन्ने हामीले थाहा पाएका छौँ नेपालमा बिजनेस प्रमोसन गर्नको लागि पनि केही काम गरिराख्नु भएको छ यहाँहरूले कति सम्भावना छ
थ्याङ्क यू भगिरथजी यस हामीले त्यो विषयमा पनि काम गरिरहेका छौँ त्यही इन्भेस्टमेन्ट सेमिनारकै रूपमा 3 जुलाईमा एउटा प्रोग्राम पनि हुँदैछ एम्बेसीमा अहिले अब नेपालको गभर्मेन्टले पनि नेपालीलाई पनि बाहिर इन्भेस्टमेन्ट गर्न दिने र बाहिरको इन्भेस्टमेन्टलाई पनि अलि फ्रेन्डली र काम चाहिँ तदारुका साथ भइरहेको र डबल ट्याक्सेसनको इस्युमा पनि उनीहरूले चाहिँ नै अहिले काम गरिरहेको हुनाले वी आर लुकिङ फरवर्ड होइन अब धेरै कामहरू चाहिँ अहिले अन्डर द पाइपलाइन नै छन् किन भर्खर नयाँ गभर्मेन्ट फर्म भयो र मार्केट चाहिँ नि अहिले एकदमै जसले चाहिँ नि अब जस्तो भन्यो हाइड्रो भयो हाइड्रोजन सेल्सहरूको बारेमादेखि लिएर त्यो तिनीहरू कम्पनीहरू ठुल्ठुलो कम्पनीहरूले पनि अहिले एप्रोच गरिरहेका छन् त्यो र होपफुल्ली अब चाहिँ राम्रो ठुलो कम्पनीहरूले पनि नेपालमा जान्छ कि भन्ने एउटा होप लागेको छ अब इट्स अल डिपेन्ड्स अब एक्सटर्नल इन्भाइरोमेन्टमा भर पर्छ अब जस्तो वार जस्तो अनसर्टिनी अब त्यहाँ चाहिँ नै र मेटेरियलहरूको सप्लाईमा प्रब्लम त्यस्तो कारणले गर्दाखेरि फेरि पनि अलिक डिले हुने हो कि भन्ने डर भएर धेरैले होल्ड ब्याक गरेको सिचुएसन पनि छ तर आई थिङ्क इट्स लुकिङ पोजिटिभ र यही सम्बन्धी नै नेपालमै इन्भेस्टमेन्ट नै लगाउने भनेर हामीले गरिरहेका छौँ अहिले यहाँबाट युकेबाटै धेरैले गरिरहनु भएको छ स्पेसल्ली अब यो हाइड्रो भयो त्यसपछि सोलर प्लान्ट्सहरू भयो अनि होटलहरूमा इन्ट्रेस्ट चाहिँ धेरै आएको हामीले सुनेका छौँ र त्यही अनुसारले अहिले चाहिँ एउटा ग्यादरिङ पनि हुँदैछ एम्बेसीमा
थ्याङ्क यू विराजी अर्को एउटा प्रश्न आएको छ तपाईँलाई यशोदा पौडेलजीको सी इज आस्किङ मे आई काइन्डली आस्क विच इन्डस्ट्रिज आर ग्रोइङ द फास्टेस्ट इन द युके एन्ड इज इट इजी फर बिजनेसेस टु गेट फन्डिङ इन द युके
Thank you, Sodaji. Which industry? Obviously, AI and innovation is the टेक्नोलोजी इन्डस्ट्री नै हो युकेमा अहिले अब थ्योरेटिकल्ली हेर्ने हो भनेदेखि र डाटाहरूबाट नै हेर्ने हो भने अहिले एआई इनोभेसन टेक्नोलोजी यो सेक्टर नै हो बुमिङ भएको त्यसपछिका अब अरू पनि छन् तर अब हामी जस्तो सानो इन्भेस्टमेन्टबाट सुरु गर्ने र फन्डिङको लागि एप्रोच गर्नेले अब बेस्ट सोर्सेस भने फ्रेन्ड्स एन्ड फ्यामिली नै हो टु स्टार्टअपको लागि होइन अब हुन त म फाइनेन्सियल एडभाइजर होइन र मेरो त्यति धेरै एक्सपर्टिज त छैन यो विषयमा तर पनि एउटा थ्योरिटिकल्ली एउटा संस्थामा भएको र लामो समयसम्म यहाँ बिजनेस गरिरहेकोले अब एज लङ एज तपाईँको बिजनेस प्लान चाहिँ एकदम कन्भिन्सिङ छ तपाईँले गर्न खोजेको कुरा राम्रो छ भने यु विल गेट द फन्डिङ भेरी इजिली होइन भनेदेखि फन्डिङ पाउनलाई त्यति इजी हुँदैन दे अलवेज कम विथ द तपाईँहरूलाई चाहिँ नि पछाडि इन्ट्रेस्ट लगाउने ऊदेखि लिएर त्यहाँ धेरै प्रब्लमहरू आउन सक्छन् त्यही भएर इट इज अलवेज इफ यु हेभ अ भेरी कन्भिन्सिङ बिजनेस प्लान वेदर इट्स इन टेक्नोलोजी अरू अब जस्तो केयर होम्स होटल्स जे भए पनि तर कन्भिन्सिङ भयो भने फाइनेन्स इजिली पाइन्छ त्यसको लागि प्रोसेसेसहरू मिल्नुपर्छ तपाईँको सबै बिजनेस प्लान फन्डिङ अप्सन 10 वर्षसम्म 5 वर्षसम्म कहाँ पुर्याउने, कसरी लाने भन्ने कुरा त्यो सबै राम्ररी एक्जिक्युट गरेको छ भने देन यु विल फाइन्ड द इन्भेस्टर। इफ होइन भनेदेखि सुरुमा पाउने हामीले भनेको फ्रेन्ड्स एन्ड फ्यामिली र त्यसैबाट सपोर्ट गर्ने हो। वन्स यु हेभ समथिङ tangible, then everybody will invest on you. Like Chhongji, now he can do it from anywhere else because he has established and proved himself. So business भनेको त्यही नै हो, पहिला आफूले स्ट्रगल गर्ने, आफूले एन्ट्री गरेर if you can prove yourself worth, then people will come from all around. Thank you.
थ्याङ्क यू विराजी। यसैमा एउटा फलोअप क्वेसन छ फेरि यशोदाजीको, म विजय थापाज्यूलाई अनुरोध गर्दछु। उहाँले चाहिँ भन्दै हुनुहुन्छ कि स्टार्टअप अथवा सुरुमा व्यवसाय सुरु गर्दै हुनुहुन्छ कुनै उद्यमीले, युकेमा चाहिँ फाइनेन्सिङको अप्सन के छ, कहाँबाट पैसा जुटाउन सकिएला?
सर्वप्रथम फाइनेन्सियलको के छ भने विराजीले नै अलिक कभर गर्नुभयो। जब तपाईँले बिजनेस सुरु गर्नुहुन्छ त्यसले आफ्नो प्लान र आफ्नो सक्षमता देखाएपछि ब्याङ्कहरू एकदमै राम्रोसँग आउँछन्। उनीहरूले म्यानेजरले नै पहिला भेटौँ, तिम्रो कहाँ बिजनेसमा म आउँछु भन्ने कुरा अप्रोच गर्छन्। तर पहिला चाहिँ सुरुमा गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ उहाँले जुन भन्नुभयो त्यसमा चाहिँ आफ्नो प्लान पहिला ड्र गर्नु पर्यो। हामी कति वर्षमा के गर्दैछौँ र कस्तो किसिमको इन्भेस्टमेन्ट तपाईँहरूले चाहनु भएको छ, त्यो पनि इम्पोर्टेन्ट इस्यु हो। कतिपय यहाँ युकेमा कस्तो छ भने अब हुन त जहाँ पनि त्यही हो, लिजमा बढी मान्छेहरू फस्छन्। त्यो कतिपय लिजको टर्म एन्ड कन्डिसनमा फस्यो भने चाहिँ त्योबाट निस्किनु गाह्रो हुन्छ। त्यसैले मेरो बिजनेस एक्सपिरियन्स चाहिँ अहिले मैले चाहिँ प्रायः यसो किन्दाखेरि होल बिल्डिङै किन्छु। त्यसैले मैले त्यस्तो किसिमको चाहिँ म किन्दिनँ। बिजनेसकै लागि मात्र भने नि किन्दैन। तर कतिपय मान्छेहरूको अब फन्डिङ डिपोजिट त राख्नु पऱ्यो नि, डिपोजिटहरूको अलिकति सर्टेज हुन्छ। त्यसमा चाहिँ मैले सुरु गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ अब साथीभाइहरूबाट मैले कति बरो गरेँ र मैले त्यसैले फेरि पार्टनरसिप पनि लिएँ। अब त्यस्तो किसिमको कन्डिसनमा पनि आफ्नो राम्रो टिम भयो भने अब त्यसको लागि चाहिँ फन्डिङ सेक्युर गरेर ब्याङ्कसँग अप्रोच गर्न सकिन्छ। र ब्याङ्कको चाहिँ म्यानेजर इज भेरी इम्पोर्टेन्ट हो। उहाँहरूसँग कन्भिन्सिङ तपाईँहरूले बिजनेस प्लान लगेर जानुभयो भने उहाँहरूले फन्डिङ गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ।
Thank you, Bijaya Thapaju. We have got a couple of questions to Chhongji and also to Mrs. Sobha Sharma Kandel. Chhongjiलाई एउटा क्वेसन छ इन्द्रगिरीजीको। Mr. Chhong, have you integrated information technology into your business operations? If so, in what ways has it contributed to the growth and expansion of your business? Additionally, based on your experience, how can other businesses effectively utilize IT to improve efficiency and growth?
Thank you for the question. Technology is one of the biggest factor in the business. हाम्रो सरले भन्नुभयो जस्तै अहिले एआईको जमाना छ, यसको जमाना छ। अब हामीले स्पेसली फ्रेन्चाइज मोडल तपाईँ अलि हामी फ्रेन्चाइजको बिजनेसहरूको किन बढी सर्भाइभ हुन्छ लङ टर्ममा, किन बिग बिजनेसहरू गेममा बस्छ भन्नु कारण चाहिँ आई थिङ्क यो एउटा त अब अहिले हामीले उहाँले मेन्सन गर्नुभएको छ बाइङ पावरको कुरा हुन्छ। अनि हाम्रो कम्पिटिटिभ मार्केटमा अब हामीले जस्ट एक्जाम्पल मेरो बिजनेसमा अहिले हामीले एउटा सप्लायरलाई एक महिनामा अलमोस्ट 500,000को सामान किन्छ एकै ठाउँबाट। एक्जाम्पल सबै स्टोरबाट किन्दाखेरि त्यो भयो भने सप्लायरको पोइन्ट अफ भ्यूमा के हुन्छ भने तपाईँले 500,000 बिजनेस गर्नलाई यो सप्लायरले 100वटा कस्टमरलाई डिल गर्नुभन्दा उनीहरूले बरु हामीले 10% 20% सस्तोमा दिएर हामीसँग डाइरेक्ट एकजनालाई कस्टमर डिल गर्छ। त्यसको मतलब चाहिँ हाम्रो फ्रेन्चाइजमा के हुन्छ भने त्यो पैसाको डिस्काउन्टेड रेट चाहिँ फ्रेन्चाइजीलाई जान्छ। सो वी अलरेडी सेभिङ अ लट अफ मनी। अनि सप्लायरको एउटा पोइन्ट अफ भ्यूमा मात्रै त्यसरी फरक पर्छ। त्यही भएर चाहिँ सिमिलर बिजनेस तपाईँ फ्रेन्चाइज र विदाउट सिङ्गल युनिटहरू चाहिँ एउटै किसिमको फुडको के अरे रेन्ट एउटै छ, तपाईँको बिजनेस रेट एउटै छ, तपाईँको स्यालेरी एउटै छ, सबै भए पनि फ्रेन्चाइजीले चाहिँ फ्रेन्चाइजको रोयल्टी तिरेर पनि अझै उनीहरूले त्यो प्रफिट गर्छ बराबर सिमिलरली कम्पेयर गर्यो भने त्यस्तो हुन्छ। अर्को कुरा चाहिँ टेक्नोलोजीको कुरा है। टेक्नोलोजी चाहिँ अलिक बिग थिङ हो। अब जस्तै हामीले अहिले के इम्प्लिमेन्ट गरेको छ भने हामी चाहिँ फोन अर्डरिङ चाहिँ अटोमेटिक गर्ने। जब कस्टमरले फोन गर्छ तपाईँको फोन अर्डर सबै उसले लिएर किचनमा प्रिन्ट हुन्छ। अब तपाईँले इमेजिन गर्नुहोस् एकजना मान्छे इम्प्लोइ गर्यो भने एक दिनमा तपाईँ मिनिमम पनि 100-150 पाउन्ड दिनुपर्छ एकजनालाई। अब मैले के देखेँ कहिले रेस्टुरेन्ट बिजी ठाउँमा गऱ्यो भने 3जना मान्छे कस्टमर सर्भिसमा बसेर फोनबाट अर्डर लिने, उसको काम फोनमा अर्डर लिने र एकजना पास हुने मात्रै. सो इट्स कस्ट मी 400 pounds per day, राइट. तब मेसिनले अटोमेटिक गऱ्यो भने त मैले त महिनामा 20 pound दिए पुग्छ उसलाई त. उसले सबै अर्डर लिएर ट्रान्सलेट गरेर किचनमा प्रिन्ट हुन्छ. सो द्याट्स हाउ इट वर्क्स. सो तपाईँले एभ्री डे 300 pounds सेभ गर्नुभयो भने 400 pounds सेभ गर्नुभयो भने यु लुक इन 10-12,000 per month. त्यसरी हुन्छ. अर्को चाहिँ सेल्फ सर्भिस कियोस्क इन्ट्रोड्युस गरेछ हामी लास्ट इयरदेखि. एगेन त्यो सिमिलर कुरा जो रेस्टुरेन्टमा आउनुहुन्छ तपाईँहरूले केएफसी म्याकडोनल्ड्सतिर जाने देख्नुभएको छ. के अरे त्यसरी आफै सेल्फ सर्भिस गरेर कस्टमरले चाहिँ आफै आउने, आफ्नो हेडफोन लगाउने, गीत सुन्ने, फोनमा साथीसँग कुरा गर्दै तपाईँले मेसिनमा अर्डर गरेर त्यो एउटा क्युको अगाडि गऱ्यो. अर्को चाहिँ के हुन्छ भने के हुँदो रहेछ भने उहाँहरूले लेस मिस्टेक हुन्छ. किनभने अब कति नेपाली भर्खरै स्टुडेन्टहरू काम गर्छ, अरू देशको काम गर्छ, कहिले ल्याङ्ग्वेजको ट्रान्सलेसन गर्ने कुरा एउटा अर्डर गऱ्यो अर्को अर्डर दिने हुन्छ भित्र. तर कस्टमर आफैले डिसिजन गरेर आफै अर्डर गर्यो भने चाहिँ कम्प्लेन पनि कम आयो. सो यस्तो कुराहरू चाहिँ मेक डिफरेन्स.
Thank you, Chhongji. We'll come back to you again. We have got a couple of questions for Mrs. Sobha Sharma Kandelju. एउटा प्रश्न छ उहाँलाई, फार्मेसी बाहेक द कन्डेल ग्रुपको रियल इस्टेट एजुकेसन सेक्टरमा पनि लगानी छ, तपाईँको अनुभव कस्तो रह्यो र एकजना महिला उद्यमी व्यवसायीको रूपमा युकेमा बिजनेस गर्दा तपाईँको अनुभव कस्तो रहेको छ?
धन्यवाद यो प्रश्नको लागि. म चाहिँ अब कन्डेल ग्रुप चाहिँ अब फ्यामिली बिजनेस भयो होइन हाम्रो, तर मेरो चाहिँ इन्भल्भमेन्ट चाहिँ यो हेल्थ केयर सेक्टरमा हो प्राइमेरली. अलिअलि चाहिँ कलेजमा पनि, हाम्रो विलेज कलेजमा पनि म हेल्प गर्छु. फार्मेसी कोर्स एनपिक्यू लेभल्स 2 and 3 पढाउँछौँ. त्यहाँ पनि ट्युटरिङ एन्ड कोर्स सेटअपमा म हेल्प गरेको थिएँ. आइमाई भएको नाताले चाहिँ अलिक गाह्रै छ, अलिक च्यालेन्जिङ नै छ भनौँ. स्पेसली नेपाली आइमाईको कुरै छोड्नु, जस्ट फिमेल्स इन जेनरल 63% अफ फार्मासिस्ट होइन वुमेन हो, तर only 2% of business owners, pharmacy business owners are women. So नेपालीलाई मात्रै यो इस्यु होइन, it's just like females as a whole. अरू यसले गरेर चाहिँ there's a lot of changes has to be made in the culture. Women are still expected to prioritize family responsibilities, caring responsibilities over business and leadership. Entrepreneurship's often seen as a risky or secondary path. First generation families, so I'm second generation, but mostly first generation families, they prioritize a stable career, stable income, and job security. So entrepreneurship can be a risky pathway. And because there's not enough role models in this area, so I found that for myself, I could not have any kind of good role models or mentors. I think that's very important to address. We need more role models and mentors. So now I'm part of the Female Pharmacy Leadership Network, which was established post-COVID. And I've met, because Indians, there's a lot of Indian pharmacy owners and a lot of females as well. So it can be lonely being a female entrepreneur. And once I connected with them and I saw people on the same journey as me, even ahead of me, then it was really inspiring. And once they get there, they leave the door open and they bring other women with them. So I think having that network and mentorship for women is really important, because traditionally business networks and financial networks has been male domain. It still is a male domain. So I think being there and having a supportive network is really important.
Thank you, Shobhaji. I think you have also answered to a question by Naresh Khapangiji. Nareshji, if you have got any follow-up question, please feel free to write in the chat box. I am seeing another question to Birajji from Yashoda Paudel. She is asking, Birajji, what do banks look for when approving a business loan?
Thank you, Sudaji. The first thing they look at is your business plan and what you have done, whether you have experience to run the business, whether you will. Basically, what they want is they want security for themselves, not for you. They want to make sure your money is returned and they get with the interest. So you have to prove them that you are worth doing the business, you are capable, you can run it, you can make it profitably. And they look at all sides of insurance. They look at your, work ethics. Just give me 1 second, please. Sorry. So they look at the structure, business planning, and how would you conduct the business. And then in many cases, if you are a startup, they'll look at for a security. If you have a house or something that you can put as a security, then it's easy to get it. Otherwise, for the startup, it's always a big challenge. They always look at the high risk side of you, and rather than giving you the loan. Obviously, this can be explained a lot better if you speak to the financial advisor than me. Obviously, I'm not the expert in this area, but I'm just sharing from my experience. I think the best thing if you are applying for the loan is make sure you have the document, you have the business plan, you have to scrutinize everything from top to bottom. You have your business plan clearly envisioned. Then I think that this will help you a lot. Thank you.
Thank you, Birajji. Now we have got another question to Mr. Bijaya Thapa. नरेश खपाङ्गीजीले सोध्नु भएको छ, खास गरेर नयाँ पुस्तालाई, बेलायतमा जन्मेको हुर्केको युवा पुस्तालाई रेस्टुरेन्ट व्यवसाय हस्तान्तरण गर्ने क्षेत्रमा दक्षिण एसियाली समुदायहरू, भारतीय लगायत अरू दक्षिण एसियाली समुदायहरूको अनुभव के छ? युवा पुस्ता रेस्टुरेन्ट व्यवसाय क्षेत्रमा कसरी आकर्षित गर्न सकेला युवा पुस्तालाई? अनम्युट गर्नु पर्ला विजय सर।
माफ पाऊँ है, म अलिकति टेक्नोलोजीमा बिर्सेछु यतातिर। धन्यवाद क्वेसनको लागि। युवा पुस्ता चाहिँ जहिले पनि र जसको पनि यो हाम्रो मात्रै होइन, यो साउथ एसियन कम्युनिटीमा पनि यो च्यालेन्जिङ फेस गरेको हामीले थाहा पाएको छौँ। र जहाँसम्म उनीहरूलाई ल्याउनु भन्नाले कस्तो हुन्छ भने, अब बच्चाहरू यहाँ हुर्किए, उनीहरूले यहाँको मार्केट रिसर्च गरे, मार्केट आफ्नै प्रोफेसनमा गइसकेपछि उनीहरूलाई चाहिँ ल्याउनु गाह्रो छ। यो सजिलो टास्क होइन। क्वेसन एकदम जायज छ उहाँले भन्नुभएको। तर युवा पुस्ताहरूले के बुझ्नु पर्थ्यो भने, अब बुझ्नुपर्छ भने मैले पनि विचार गर्दाखेरि, रादर देन यहाँ अहिले अब कति मिलियन यङहरूले जब पाएको छैन भन्छन् नि, र त्योमा स्ट्रगल गर्नुभन्दा आफ्नो बाबुआमा अथवा भनौँ न आफ्नो दाजुभाइ कसले सुरु गरेको बिजनेसलाई पिकअप गऱ्यो भने हामी पनि खुसी हुन्थ्यौँ। अनफोर्चुनेटली हाम्रो त्योमा अहिले हामी च्यालेन्जिङ फेजमा छौँ। हामी अहिले त्यसमा कतिको छोराछोरीहरूले रेस्टुरेन्ट चाहिँ बन्द गरेको छन्, छोराछोरीले नहेरेर। अब त्यो सिचुएसन हामी सबैले फेस गरेका छौँ, र त्यो चाहिँ हाम्रो अहिले मेन च्यालेन्ज नै हो। अब अहिले यहाँ के भइदियो भने उनीहरूले चाहिँ नयाँ उसमा चाहिँ एडभेन्चर गर्ने, जस्तो आइटीले धेरै लिएको छ। अब एआईकै कुरा अहिले आयो। अब हामीले त्यसलाई चाहिँ हाम्रो बिजनेसमा कर्पोरेट इन्क्लुड गर्न नसक्नु पनि एउटा च्यालेन्ज हामीसँग छ। त्यो कुराले पनि हामीलाई चाहिँ च्यालेन्जिङै छ। अहिले यो हामीले मेन फेस गरेकै कुरा हो। उहाँले उठाउनु भएको क्वेसनमा त्यो तात्पर्य मैले बुझेँ। तर हामीले म त भन्दिनँ कि एसियन कम्युनिटीमा एज अ होल उनीहरू सक्सेस भएको छ जस्तो मलाई लाग्दैन। केही फ्युहरू होला, तर उनीहरूले अहिले चेन्जेस उनीहरूले के गरेछ भने उनीहरूले चाहिँ बिगर स्केलमा गइरहेका छन्। अब जस्तो अब हामीहरू रेस्टुरेन्ट खोल्नुतिर लाग्यो, उनीहरू चाहिँ पार्टी हल खोल्नुतिर लाग्यो। तर अब नयाँ आउने जेनेरेसनको बच्चाहरूले, हाम्रो बच्चाहरूले चाहिँ त्यस्तो किसिमको कन्सेप्ट लिएर आयो भने सक्सेस हुने चान्स बढी छ। धन्यवाद।
Thank you, Bijay Thapaju. We have got a couple of questions for Birajji and Chhongji. Sheila Thapa KC writes, Namaskar everyone. Thank you very much for organizing such a brilliant webinar. This question is for Biraj Bhatta. May I please understand how safe is it to invest in health and social care sector in the UK? Birajji.
Sorry. Thank you. Thank you, Silaji. Obviously, it's not one of my sector, but as long as you know what you are doing, I think there is a huge scope in UK. There is still a huge market, and you can succeed. So scope is always there, no matter what type of business. The things will shift from doing one way to another, but the demand is always there. The market is always growing. So there is a possibility, but you have to differentiate yourself. to serve your clients, to make yourself valuable. I think that is the part you need to look at it. But obviously, healthcare sector, I don't know much about it, so I can't really advise you on that one. But in general, there are people who are making good money. They're investing, they're expanding. I know a lot of my friends have already done it, so I'm sure there is a scope. But I think it's always better to speak to someone who has already done the business and do your research properly in the area where you're expanding, where there's a market share, whether you have the contact with the NHS and other people who will give you the business. So you need to look at all these aspects. So the scope is always there. So you need to know your business and you need to know how to work on business, rather than if you know how to deal with your customers, how to work on your product. Rather than product and services, you need to know how the business itself runs, and you need to model your business first and then look at the market. You need to do the proper research at the area and everything. I'm sure you'll do it well. Thank you.
Thank you, Biraji. We have got a bit longer question to Chhongji from Pramila Van Omen. Question on promoting Nepali identity through catering to Chhongji and Bijayji. What are your reflections in connecting Momo to Nepali Himalayan identity? What do customers understand? Do they need to know the connection of Momo to Nepal and Tibet? Is there more needed to build this awareness? Chhongji.
हजुर धन्यवाद क्वेसनको लागि I think that is the question I get most of the time when I go to meetings, when I meet other like banks or other big peoples in the meeting. So I say, where are you from? I'm from Nepal. And then why are you doing Japanese? Why not doing Nepalese? So that was a question asked a lot of times. So that is why I think someone need to. I was thinking, why no one has done our Momo? Or Momo is a brand, not like product basically. So that's why I was also thinking, well, I should do something. So we have started Momo brand as well now. We have opened second location in Bexley recently. So I think there is a big space. Only challenge will be when you come to the new. So you can get advantage of being the first, or you have you almost have to educate the people what it is basically. So I think we looked at that way. So I think, but it's still Momo is quite big thing in brand. So I think we have lots of other big brands coming in India. We have Momo 488 coming in Australia. So that's why in the promoting our Himalayan product, Nepalese product across the world. So I think someone has to start, and we are also doing it. So there is big space to do it. If you look at the UK or generally in the world market, especially fast food area, you have the burgers. How many brands doing? McDonald's, KFCs, all of these doing burgers. We have fish and chips. We have chicken wings. You can see like hundreds of brands for chicken wings, for example, only. So I think this Momo has big space to promote and to be global.
Thank you, Chhongji, for reminding us Momo this morning. Now we have got a question to Mrs. Sobha Sharma Kandel from Dr. Sushma Basnet, CNSUK. She is asking, while promoting businesses and entrepreneurs is important, how do you address concerns about low wages, staff exploitation, and the unfair treatment of Nepali workers compared to their British counterparts? What ethical standards could be applied to ensure employee well-being and equal treatment? Sobhaji.
Thank you for your question, Dr. Sushma Basnet. In terms of the healthcare sector, we are highly regulated. So legal compliance is basically a baseline. So I think, ethical leadership and fair pay structures, they're kind of the backbone of the NHS anyway. So even though we're private business, we have to adhere to NHS standards. We work on NHS contract. So there's clear salary bands for roles such as pharmacist, dispenser, technician. Obviously, entry-level roles depends on the qualifications of the staff. There shouldn't be any kind of informal or inconsistent pay arrangements for anyone, regardless if they are Nepali or British or any other ethnicity. There should be transparency, so kind of open communication regarding working hours, pay structure, overtime policies, have a contract in place as well. And there's other structures. So if there is any issues, you can speak to NHS. There's whistleblowing because it's highly regulated as well. And there's HR. The company should have their own HR as well. So if there is any concerns, then there are the mechanisms available to address them as well.
Thank you. We have got another question to you, Sobhaji, from Mr. Kul. He's asking to Sobha Kandel Didi, what is the one piece of advice you would give to a young education company like Kids Circuits that is striving to grow, inspire young minds, and create a lasting impact?
Well, thank you for that question. I'd say know what your unique selling point is, know what the market is, and obviously, stay deeply connected to the needs. What is the need of what is a gap in the education that the children need? So it's a robotics company, I guess. So you can look at other companies that do the similar thing, and how are you different? What is your unique selling point, and kind of address that and promote that to your community and your target market group, and do your research. I think that's really important, that you need to do your market research and build the strong systems early. So investing early in kind of good staff, training, infrastructure, that's really important and the backbone of any business.
Thank you, Shobhaji. And we have a follow-up question from Boj Baralji to Mr. Bijaya Bhatta. To Mr. Biraj Bhatta. Boji is asking, this is a follow-up question. I assume we hear that some Nepalese entrepreneurs collaborate initially but alienate from business soon after, sometimes before the business itself is launched. I assume that is due to lack of proper written agreement, entry and exit strategies, and framework, or could be something else, as the business persons here might know. If this is true, I wonder how we could eliminate or minimize it, since it will have a devastating effect on loans procured together, etc.
Sorry, Bhagirath, I missed the first part of the question. Can you repeat that again, please?
He's saying that in the grapevine, we hear that some Nepalese entrepreneurs collaborate initially, but alienate from business soon after.
Okay. I get the sense now. Obviously, it's an operational process, and sometimes there are various things. It can be a cultural differences, and then motives, and obviously this is where as a BNCC, as an organization, we always emphasize go with the procedure, get things documented, get clarity to the end and up to the exit point. If you have some project, plan the exit when the project completes, or if you are doing restaurant business down the line, divide your work at the beginning, because everything starts because we all go with the emotions. We don't look at the business side of it, we look at the emotion side of it. And then emotion, sometimes it works when things are right, but when things goes wrong, the emotion, they can't help. So the best thing is to go strategically, make a tactical plan, make a strategic plan, work out the contract, go through the processes. I think that can eliminate the differences. The root cause, I think we need to look at the root cause rather than just going superficial and saying, oh, everything is fine, honky-dory. This is where the things goes wrong. When there is adversity, then you can't cope with it. I hope I've tried to answer your questions, but obviously it's all depends on unique nature of what they're doing. So in theory, in principle, I think we should just go strategically, think everything documented, get the process done, do the due diligence, and that should resolve a lot of issues. Thank you.
Thank you, Biraji. I think we are now going to the last round of this Q&A session. We have got same question to all four panelists. I would like to start with Biraji. What would be your advice to upcoming entrepreneurs in the UK, especially the Nepali origin Nepali entrepreneurs? And what are your personal plans to grow and expand your business personally? Thank you.
Thank you, Bhagirath ji. My advice to upcoming entrepreneurs is this: there is no shortcut. It's not about just the hard work. You need to have combination of everything to get things done and to get things done successfully and legitimately. Because sometimes we look at the shortcut, sometimes we look at the competition, sometimes we look at the other people get succeed, but it doesn't work in reality that way. You have to prove your self-worth. You have to work hard. You have to have your plan, everything. When things are done with the plan strategically, and when you work out all the processes, and then the luck will come, the hardware will come, and you have to put your 100%. There's no shortcut. Once you have the fund ready, maybe you can hire the expert who can work for you. But unless you have those thing in place, you have to work hard and put yourself 100%. I'm sure that we, as a Nepali entrepreneur, first generation Nepali myself, we have done the hard work and we have done the difficult way. So I know we are very hardworking people, and you can achieve it. And the information is free nowadays. Go do your research, put on AI, put on Google, and prepare yourself. And then I think end of the day, result will come, and then you will succeed. Thank you, Bhagirath ji.
Thank you, Biraj. Now we have got a question to Mr. Bijaya Thapa. नेपाली युवाहरूलाई युकेमा व्यवसाय विस्तार गर्न तपाईँको सुझाव के छ र तपाईँको आफ्नै व्यवसाय विस्तार गर्ने कुनै योजना पनि छ कि? अनम्युट गर्नु पर्ला।
माफ पाऊँ, धन्यवाद। युवाको लागि सबभन्दा मैले सुरुमै पनि भनेको थिएँ, तपाईले जुनसुकै बिजनेसमा हात हाल्नुहुन्छ, नट ओन्ली क्याटरिङ, अरू पनि बिजनेसहरूमा, त्यसको लागि पहिला स्टडी गर्नु होला। तपाईँ कतिको एक्सपिरियन्स, कतिको त्यसको लागि लगनशीलता हुनुहुन्छ, र त्यसको स्टडी गरेर मार्केट रिसर्च गरेर मात्रै हात हाल्नु होला भन्ने म एडभाइस गर्न चाहन्छु। र त्यसमा अब कतिपय स्ट्रगलहरू आउँछन्, त्यसलाई चाहिँ हामी डेडिकेसन दिनुपर्छ, आफ्नो 100% नै दिनुपर्छ बिजनेसमा। त्यो भएन भने तपाईँ फेल हुने सम्भावना बढी छ। र जहाँसम्म मेरो बिजनेसको कुरा गर्नुभयो, म केही वर्षदेखि अलि स्वास्थ्यको कारणले अलिकति मैले गर्न सकेको छैन बिजनेसमा। त्यसले गर्दाखेरि अलिकति स्वास्थ्यको कारणले म अब मेरो जुन छ त्यो बिजनेस नै कन्टिन्युटी गर्ने प्लानमा मात्रै छु। मैले त्यो फर्दर चाहिँ मैले 3टासम्म पहिले चलाइसकेको हो। त्योमा चाहिँ मेरो त्यति उमा छैन अब, किनभने हामी रिटायरमेन्टको उमा पनि पुगिसकेका छौँ। त्यही भएर मेरो एज तपाईँहरूले गेस गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ। धन्यवाद।
Thank you, Bijay Thapa Raju. All the best for your business and for your personal health and well-being. We have got a question to Mrs. Sobha Sharma Kandel. What would be your advice to upcoming Nepali entrepreneurs, especially from the youth generation? And what are your plans to expand your business in the near future?
Well, thank you for the question. I think, when you start a business, make sure you have a clear vision and a purpose. As I mentioned before, make sure you've done your research and what is your unique selling point. That's really important. Invest in yourself and your staff. That is the backbone of your business. And continuous learning is one of the best investments that I've made as a pharmacist, because this is my business as well as my passion. And I think business is not, for me anyway, business is not only about making money, it's about, it provides me purpose. So make sure that whatever you are going to be investing in, it's not only just to make money, but it's actually you have a passion for it and you have, meaning and purpose for it as well. And you're contributing to your community. And also once you get to that point, make sure you open the doors for others in terms of mentorship and networking opportunities as well. In terms of business expansion, at the moment, we are thinking of adding extra services to the pharmacies we already have. NHS contract is changing a lot this year, so we are kind of expanding our services. And in terms of education, we are planning to apply for apprenticeship as well for pharmacy technicians and pharmacy assistants. So that is the kind of near future plan.
Thank you, Sobhaji. Now we have got the same question to Chhongji. What would be your advice to upcoming Nepali entrepreneurs in the UK? And what are your plans, if any, to expand your business in the near future?
Thank you for the questions. I look at this advice for entrepreneurs. So I think there's two ways I look at it normally. One, you look at the first, when you start a business, how do you do business? What is the ideas? And the second phase comes once who has business already. So that is when it comes to expansion, system, and things. So for the first part is advice for the new whoever wants to do business or anything. I think first we need to find the problem, I guess. If there is a problem, you can solve the problem, and there is this way the business idea comes in. So everyone has your own field. For example, let's say take an example of property. You are a landlord, or you are tenants, or you are in tech business. So what is the problem you will see? We are in restaurant business, for example. We see every day problem happens with the customer complaining about the food getting delayed, not delivered on time, a rider disappear on the way. So, for example, so we find the problem there is a problem with the riders. So, what can be done for that solution? So, if there is no solution in the market, so you build something there. I think that's why you get the first phase of idea. For example, what comes to your first phase when you have find solution? In Nepal, for example, in the UK, for example, if you need a cake, so what do you think of first thing? If you think of nothing, then that is space. I think that's how you should get the idea. For example, in the UK, for example, now here, we say, when you say, I need a cake, so people think of cake box straight away. Before the cake box, probably people didn't know. In Nepal, I don't know what brand you have at the moment. If you need a cake, where do you go? If there is any brand that exists at the moment? Or if not, then can you make a cake? Then that's where the idea comes in, I guess. So once you have the business, then when you started something, then it comes to the system, it comes to the HR. I think we mentioned about the technologies integration with the, and then you always, I think you look at vertically, and you don't have to solve all the problem. There is always someone is doing that part of some part of your business. So, for example, in our restaurant business, some third party is doing deliveries, another party is taking the orders for us. So we just have to put all together. So that's how we expand. And from personally point of view, as a business plan, so we aim to be 100 store by 2030. So we want to be the biggest sushi fast food brand in the UK. So at the moment, 35 locations, and then we're opening 10 more, about 10 this year. And that's why we're giving opportunity for especially Nepalese community. My franchisee, most of them are Nepalese. I prefer our community to be stronger and be participant in the first phase of entrepreneurial journey. So I think franchising is one of the problem with most of people ask, how do you get idea, how do you get the funding? One of the easiest ways to get the franchise system, get into it. Once you start there, you have the system, you have the funding option. For example, in my business now, I myself do the funding if needed up to 100,000. And also we do partners with banks. So bank will fund up to 60% of your total project, which is, and you have to put 40% of your money. So it's basically like you're buying a house, basically. So you put your deposit, I think it's 30,000, 40,000, most of us has the fund. And then bank has a trust on the system, on the franchise. So if you start your own, probably a bit difficult to get funding in the first phase. In order to do that, bank asks us the bank trust on our system. So they will ask, how do you recruit franchisees? What experience they have? So it's not like only your part. We do our part, the due diligence. Bank does their part. We do our part. So that's how we get funding. And once you get started, once you know the business, then after a few years, 3 years, 5 years, then you already know how to do things, and you can start your own something. That is one way you get into the business. And then you learn in the city. It's not about franchise, it's like ecosystem. So you have loads of things. There's not only a restaurant franchise, you have the technology franchise, you have the now lots of sports. There's many things they look at. So I think everyone has their own field of expertise. I guess for the early phase of the people is finding what is my expertise and what do I want in the life is probably a bit difficult part of the life, I guess.
Thank you, Chhongji. Your journey and your story has been really motivating and inspiring to all of us as well as to the forthcoming generation. Thank you very much. And before concluding, I think we still have around 10 minutes. So I think we can take one more question to Biraj Bhattaji. This is from Hari Karki. He writes, Namaskar everyone. It's great to see Nepali businesses doing well in the UK. However, I still hear complaints about some workers being paid below the legal minimum wage, often through cash in hand jobs. With increased home office inspections, many businesses have moved to proper payroll systems and pay slips. But if that is the case, why are some workers still not receiving the minimum wage? Biraji.
Oh, thank you, Bhagirath. It's against the law to pay below the minimum wages. So the business, if they want to run it legitimately, you shouldn't do it. Secondly, why they are paid below the minimum wages, we need to look at the root causes. As Songzi already said, when you have a native speaker, they understand the language, they understand the culture. And when you have a student or someone coming from overseas, they may speak the English, but they don't understand the working culture, they don't understand the value. And always they tend to make more mistake than the native speaker. That's why obviously the as an employer will look at the productivity rather than the person doing the same job. And if someone productivity is better than others, they always tend to get more paid. So we need to, as an employer, if you are doing a business, do things legally properly, because when you do these shortcuts, end of the day, you're going to get knocked out. You're going to get caught up one day. Someone will always complain. You may think you're doing favor to somebody, but that person will go against you tomorrow. So don't do that thing, anything illegal. That's not how you should do it. You should do the business in a proper way and legitimately. I discourage everyone trying to do the shortcut. Don't do that. That's not beneficial for you, not beneficial for community, not beneficial for the industry. I think that's what the question is. But apart from that, if you are looking to make your how to get rid of this kind of culture or that kind of problems, you always look at the root cause. Find out why. And if someone is doing it, just complain it. I don't think you're doing anything wrong by doing it, because just you need to be doing things legally and properly. That's all I can advise. Thank you.
Thank you, Biraji, for your advice and your note of caution. With this, we have come to the end of today's webinar. I would like to share an information for our next webinar. On 4th July, Professor Jeevan Sharma from the University of Edinburgh will be speaking on the theme Promises and Perils of Youth-Led Political Movement, Insights from Gen Z Uprising in Nepal. We would like to invite you all to our next webinar as well on 4th of July at the same time, 10 a.m. in the UK. With this, we would like to express our heartfelt thanks and appreciation to our panelists today.